Hello everyone and welcome back to Chess Game Design with me, or programming or whatever. So in today's lesson, which might actually become two different videos, I'm not sure about the length yet, we have quite a lot to do. We need to change a few things because so far we don't have any way of differentiating between a special valid move and a normal valid move. Such as a valid, so by special valid move I mean something like en passant or castling, or when the pawn needs to be changed to another piece. And a normal valid move I mean anything that's other than those three moves. So what we need to do today is somehow make it so that we can actually differentiate between those things. To do this, what you need to do is first of all create a new class. How you can do this is either by creating a new element somewhere with add component and then just deleting it from there because you won't need it anywhere, or you can right click create C# script, and what I named it is normal or special move. So this is going to help us to make sure that the move that we're making, we know what the move that we're making is, whether it's special or a normal move. So once you create this class, you will have something that looks a bit like this. We don't actually need all of these elements inside, so what we're going to do is pretty much delete everything, even what it's inheriting from. However, we are going to keep the name. Why we're doing this is because, well, we don't actually need it to inherit from anything. It's going to be a very simple class. All it's going to do is store as public variables a square, which we are going to call the valid move. Get set. This is just going to allow us to set the variable, as well as another variable which is going to be a boolean, and it's going to be called is special. And again we have the get set. Then need the semicolon there. Let's not forget that. There we go. Oops, I have for some reason deleted that curly brace, but that's fine. I'm just going to add it back in. So we are going to be initializing this class in the following way. We're going to make a public special, not special move. Oops, those are supposed to be normal. And then we have the curly braces, and it's going to take square the move, as well as a boolean, which is going to be is move special, which by default we are going to set as false. You don't have to do this, but if you don't do this, then you're going to have to specify whether a move is a special or not each time. So what this means is if it's special, you just put true. If it's not special, you just don't have to fill that in. Again, you can do it either way. And then inside of here we do we just pretty much set these variables to be equal to these. So this equals the move, semicolon, and is special equals that. You can name these anything you would like, but this is what I'm naming them. And that is going to be the class. So now the way we want to implement this into our code is each time we add something to the valid moves list, we want to know whether that move is a special move or if it's a normal move. And that means that we have to do a lot of changing of things. So first thing we need to do is go into the piece class, change the list of valid moves of, instead of being squares, to be normal or special move. So the reason we can't just add both a square and a boolean in a list like we would normally do in Python is because C# doesn't allow that. And that's why we have to create this class. If we were doing this in Python, what we would do is create a two-dimensional array which contains booleans in one list and squares in the other list. However, because we're working in C#, we have to create our own class to allow us to make a kind of like a two-dimensional array. So now we just have to go through pretty much all of our code, and instead of having add a square, we need to add a new normal or special move. And that's going to require adding the square to it as well. So let me demonstrate. For example, we have an error here. So to valid moves, add, instead of j, where j is a square, what we do is we add new special or valid moves, and in parentheses we put j. What this does is creates a new normal special valid move object, which has the square j, and a boolean is move special or is special of false. We could, if we wanted to, specify this to be false, or we could, if we wanted to, specify to be as true. In this case, because this is in our default piece class, it's not going to be a special move, it's just going to be a normal move, so we just leave it as j, meaning the is special is going to be false. Similarly, what we do here is do this. Don't forget the new, because if you don't do new, then nothing is created and you get an error. And that's what we're going to do in our piece class. We might need to get back to it, we will see. Now, pretty much everywhere we get an error, we just need to change that. So in our bishop we don't have any special moves, in our queen we don't have any special moves, that's game manager, that's completely different. Let's go to the black pawn, where we do actually have some special moves. So this, even though it is kind of a special move, we don't exactly treat it as a special move. So we can just add new and j. By this I mean on first turn you can move 2 squares forward. And we don't treat it as a special move because we've already established that it works correctly. Now, in passant, what we do, because we are going to treat this as a special move, we are going to add to valid moves a new special or moves with the square of j. However, we are going to make sure that is special is true. And we are going to deal with this true in our game manager once we get to that point. For now, let's just switch all of these errors to be new, and there we go. Pawn, let me just see where we are, and I think that, okay, so this is also going to be a special move, so we can put true here, because we've commented this, and this means that the pawn is going to need to be changed to another piece. We are going to completely, well, not completely, but we are going to have to make a few changes to the loop where it changes the shading of the squares later on. For now, we can just leave it. And I think that, that we do have another error. I can see it over here. Oh no, it is just this. Okay, I'll leave that for now. I'm just going to go off camera now and change everywhere I have an error to what you just saw me do. So instead of just j, I'm going to change it to new a normal or special move j. And then I'm going to tell you where you need to put a true for the is special move. Actually, I've changed my mind. I am actually going to record where I change things so that you guys know for sure where I'm changing. So wherever we're adding, we're going to change. You will see that we have errors in other places as well. We're going to fix those later. For now, just wherever we add, we are going to also, instead of adding just j, we're going to add a normal or special move j. Let's go into queen. We have an error here. Now it's fixed, and I think that everything else, here as well actually. So for the for loop that we have over here, what we are going to do, let's go into the bishop first actually. Let me just look at my other code just to make sure that I'm doing this correctly. So here, instead of having a square list, we're going to have a, what have I done? Yeah, okay, that's fine. We're going to have a normal or special move list. There we go. And instead of having square here, we're going to have normal or special move. And so it's just going to add it. It's going to check for the same conditions. However, to check for the same... Okay, so that's that. This we're going to do later, actually. Okay, yep, that's fine. Let's just copy this once again. And actually we need to change it in our queen as well. So let's copy this over. Square, add J. Okay. Or no, we need to, what did we do in the bishop again? In the bishop we valid moves.add J. Oh, right. We forgot to change those. There we go. Black pawn. Similarly to what we did. Oh, actually, no, we haven't done any pawns yet, have we? So in the black pawn, you do this. Oh, we did do the black pawn. We did that first, well, didn't we? Yep. Okay, that's fine. Square comes later on. If this happens, then you can just drag it and drop it once again, like you saw me do there. Rook, we want to do this a similar thing as we did in the bishop and the queen. So here instead of square, we do that. And here add new J. There we go. In the knight, once again add new and J, and down here as well. That should, oh yeah, we are missing parentheses. I deleted one by accident. King, this should be the last one. And here as well, actually. There we go. So now we have changed that. Actually, no, we haven't changed it in our white pawn, have we? So over here, for some reason I haven't copied that last parentheses or that last bracket. Let's just go with bracket. There we go, and here we need to make it true. I'm going to leave a space after the comma just to make it look nicer. And here we're going to make it true as well. I think I did that in black pawn. Yes, I did. Good. So now we have changed that. Now let's move on to changing this over here and also move on to the game manager, because the game manager is also going to have errors, as you can see right here. So the last thing we're going to do today is change the for loop that gives it a different shade so that it does it correctly. We're going to comment out what we have right now, except for the for each, because, well, we're going to change the for each to something else. So previously we had it as each square in the canvas. That's fine. But now we're going to comment out the if statement that's in there. So this is the previous, what we had previously. We just comment out this if statement. And instead of it, we add this. So let's just explain what this does. We're just going to copy and paste this everywhere. So if I explain it once, it's fine. We go again through each square in all of the squares which we have in our game manager. We should probably rename canvas later on, because canvas doesn't exactly make sense, but it's fine. We can rename it to game manager. For now, we know what it is. So what we do is, if the valid move of this, I should actually probably do that. Because I use this everywhere, I'm going to use it here as well, just to make it more obvious. So if this piece has valid moves, i.e. the list of valid moves is greater than 0 or not equal to 0, then I do this. I'm going to explain that later on. But if there aren't any valid moves, then I just shade every single square that's in the canvas's all squares, so that to show that I have no valid moves. However, if it does have valid moves, then what I do is check if j, i.e. the square which I'm looking at in the canvas, is equal to n, which is going to be the normal or special move invalid moves from this piece, which we're just changing now. So we're basically looking at the normal or special move, and then we're looking at n dot the valid move. The valid move is the square which is in this class, as you can see. So if the square from the canvas is equal to the square from the piece the square invalid moves, then, well, I change its color to 1, or I could just do nothing if I wanted to. I could just put break. Otherwise, if it's not equal, then I change its color to be faded, i.e. 0.45, because that's what we've been doing. And we can now just copy and paste this to replace all everywhere that we have the previous for each. And that's going to be it for today's lesson. I know that we haven't exactly finished everything, but this is going to be a 2-part or maybe even 3-part video, because, well, we have quite a few things to do, as you probably have just noticed, as we have other errors in here as well that need fixing. So I'm going to finish here. If you enjoyed this video, then please give me a like, share and subscribe. If you have any questions, do feel free to ask in the comments down below. I will be happy to answer any of them. Let me just check actually for piece what I've done, because I've treated the piece slightly differently to what I've done with the other places, but the piece isn't exactly that important. And also, actually, because we have the else in piece, this shouldn't have much to do. I know I was going to end it off there, but oh well, let's just see. Let's just finish at least this off. So for this, what I have done is actually slightly more complicated, because here I haven't separated these yet. Okay, so let's separate these and just add that on, because we've deleted that previously. We should have anyway. And now we are done with that. So thank you so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, once again, give me a like, share and subscribe. If you didn't, then dislike, tell me why you didn't enjoy it so that I can improve for next time. Until next time, thank you so much for watching and goodbye.